Buckle up, football fans. It's time for Toyota Talks. Let's welcome in former Irish NFL linebacker as well, currently on Good Morning Football on the NFL Network, which airs on WPWR here in Chicago at noon every day. Manti Te'o. Hey, great to see you, Manti. I appreciate the time. And I want to get into it immediately because you, as a former player, considering how the Bears blew their 17-6 fourth quarter lead to the Vikings and then got eaten alive by the Lions, how big a win was that Dallas victory for the Bears locker room, for the guys in the locker room who are playing the game?
I mean, if you don't believe anything that I'm saying, just look at the locker room footage after the game. Ben Johnson doing his thing, going through some rally call, being poetic with the guys repeating what he's saying. You could tell that it meant a lot for the team, for the players, and for the coaches. And I know for the city of Chicago, it meant a lot for them too. So I was happy with how they played. It's one thing to win, it's another thing to win in the fashion that they did. And so there's a lot to celebrate, and I couldn't be happy for them.
All right, you and I have talked before, and you told me about playing for Dennis Allen during your NFL career. Knowing Allen like you do, how do you think DA handled practice last week?
Well, knowing Dennis Allen, there probably was a lot of walkthrough. See, Dennis Allen, when things don't work the way that he wants it to work, it's not enough to just sit in the meeting room and go over film. He's somebody that loves to take it to the field and walk through situations. And I know they didn't have the outing that they had that they wanted to have against Detroit. But knowing him, there was a lot of walkthroughs, there's a lot of walk and talk, and not a lot of classroom. Maybe there was, but when I played for him, there was a lot of situations that, okay, hey, in the second quarter, this happened. Let's go over it so it doesn't happen to us again. Understanding that this is a copycat league, that people are going to look, that teams are going to look at what plays hurt you and trying to copy those things. So knowing Dennis Allen, there was probably a lot of walkthroughs and a lot of talking.
Yeah, that's a good point there about copycat league. Jaquan Brisker, Grady Jarrett, they led a players-only meeting last Wednesday after Ben Johnson questioned his players' practice habits. New coach, new system. Do you like when a coach calls out players?
I like it if the coach already addressed it with the player. I think if the coach didn't already set that precedence, and then after a win or after a loss, a coach kind of goes rogue and says those types of things, I think it could create some division. But from what we've heard from Ben Johnson, he's a player's coach. He's a guy who not only demands the best out of his players in the media, but he also does it in practice in the meeting room. So if I have a coach, I would love to have those conversations with him myself. And then he being able to go over there and articulate it on air, and knowing Ben Johnson, that's probably what he did.
And having played the game, Manti, I am sure, but you're going to tell me, there are guys, there are former players, teammates that you had that need to be challenged that way at times, right?
Yeah, no, there definitely are. And I'm hoping that, as they grow and as they mature, that's the Chicago Bears roster. I'm hoping that they get to a point where the players themselves regulate themselves, where the leadership on that team gets to a point where Ben Johnson doesn't have to do those types of things. That he's like, hey, I know that Caleb will handle it, or I know that DJ Moore will handle it. I know that Brisker will handle it, or Kevin Byard will handle it. So as they get to that point, I think that's what's going to take them to the next level.
Yeah, people forget this is a brand new roster as well. Guys like Grady Jarrett weren't even with this team. All right, Bears are still without three starters on defense. Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, TJ Edwards. Johnson's going through surgery. We know he won't play for sure in Vegas. No word on if Gordon and Edwards will miss this weekend's game in Vegas. My guess is yes. It's not easy for a new defensive coordinator who's trying to build chemistry to be without three of his starters to open up a season. It's going to take some time to build that cohesion between the unit, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to take some time. And the biggest thing about, having somebody like Kyler Gordon out is those guys are pieces that communicate a lot. Speaking about communication, it's not like you have a D tackle that's out that, he's told what the plays are. You're talking about a middle linebacker in TJ Edwards and Kyler Gordon, who's one of the most fun guys to watch. He's one of my favorite players to watch, just his ability to make dramatic plays and impactful plays for his team. These are guys that talk and communicate. So it definitely creates some challenges there because of the need for them to talk and communicate and make sure that the other guys on the field are lined up. But I think Noel Sewell has been phenomenal in the past few weeks. He's played with his hair on fire. Now it's just a communication standpoint and a communication part of defenses that you miss the veteran presence of those guys.
Man, I'm telling you what, I'm glad you brought up Sewell because his tackle numbers have really been through the roof the last couple of weeks. All right, I want to look ahead to Sunday because Vegas can't block. They can't protect quarterback Geno Smith. They can't create holes for Ashton Genty. Knowing Dennis Allen like you do, are the Bears going to throw the kitchen sink at Geno Smith and Ashton Genty this Sunday?
If I know Dennis the way that I do, and that is Dennis doesn't really blitz a lot, but what Dennis does do is he does bluff a lot. So I do expect some mug fronts. That's when the inside linebackers come up to the line of scrimmage on both sides of the center. We did do that a lot in New Orleans on third down packages. But first and second down, I expect him to continue to be stout against the run, to stay in those two deep free safety, both the safeties back packages. But maybe he gets more extravagant with the third down packages. But I know he's going to stop the run first. That was something that he always emphasized with us, and then be able on those obvious passing downs to be in the places that we needed to be. And again, it goes back to communication, right? Making sure everybody communicates, hey, this is the coverage, this is where we need to get to. So Dennis Allen knows the X's and O's. He knows the chess match that's coming with the Raiders, and I know that he'll have the guys ready.
Hey, I know your partner Kyle Brandt's as happy as I am here in Chicago with the way the Bears played. What are you most impressed with while watching Caleb Williams?
You know what impressed me the most about Caleb Williams is for a guy who has his names in the tabloids a lot, for good and bad reasons. It seems like he just continues to stay himself. I don't envy the life that he lives, being the #1 overall draft pick, being somebody that media likes to nitpick a lot. I've never seen him act in a way and to respond in any way that is disrespectful or kind of stoops to the level of the critics. He's always just been somebody that's been going to work and done everything that he had to do to help his team. So from somebody who I've kind of been on the other end of it, I've been very impressed in how he's been so mature and he's handled the criticism, and he continues to go out there and perform for his team.
Yeah, all good points there. Hey, how about this? Cleveland shocks Green Bay. Lions roared in Baltimore Monday night. Man, that was unbelievable. Vikings now are spending 2 weeks overseas without J.J. McCarthy playing, and the Bears are feeling good after the Cowboys game. What have you learned about the NFC North through 3 games?
Man, I've learned that they're the same division that we've loved to watch the past few years, with them always being competitive and always playing this physical brand of football. It's been good to see the Packers do extremely well, because I think that's the guys that've always been in the conversations have been the Bears, have been the Lions, have been the Vikings. And now that you have the Packers and how they've been doing the past few weeks, I think having all 4 teams kind of be competitive and be in this one little bubble, I think it always makes for great football. I've always was told when I was in college that college football is always better when teams like Notre Dame are good. The NFL game is always better when the teams in the NFC North are playing at a high level, and that's what they're doing.
Yeah, I'm with you. Speaking of college football, you're Irish. You're at Arkansas Saturday, and after the Miami and Texas A&M losses, hey, buddy, they need to run the table to get into the playoff, don't they?
Yeah, they don't. I mean, that's the price that we pay for being an independent school. You have to not only win because we don't have a conference, but you have to win convincingly. Obviously, those two games early were heartbreakers for us Irish fans. But I'm a full believer in Coach Freeman. I love what he does. I love what he stands for. And I'm hoping that we can build off our win last week and continue it throughout the season.
Hey, great conversation, Manti. I appreciate the time. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll talk to you down the line.
Yes, sir.